Hey everybody, it's Joe, Redneck Collector, coming at you with another video, and I am super excited to do this. Beyond words, how excited I am to just do this video. So I'm probably going to have a crazy thumbnail and things like that I don't normally do, but it's just an absolutely fantastic story, and I want to try to, maybe do some justice, have fun with it. For those of y'all that followed my channel, my kind of personal collecting brand is value, right? Finding the deals, the steals, if you will, mainly on eBay. I have found a lot of great stuff, right? You go back and look at my videos. It's how I've been able to build my collection at the rate and for the amount of dollars I put into it. I've been able to do pretty well, right? And I have fun doing it. And that's why I'm just like, I'm giddy. I've got some finds, right? I've got the Redneck Grill collection from about a year ago. I've got my 53 tops that I bought earlier this year. So I've got some pretty good finds and some pretty good stories, and it makes me so happy as a collector. But then it's fun to think, okay, on a content kind of level, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to make a video about this. Some of you may be tired of it. You may have already tuned out less than 90 seconds in. I don't know. You might think, I don't really want to hear about this again, Joe. You're the luckiest SOB in the face of the earth. And in this one, I truly am lucky, because so many times on those others, like the Redneck Grill collection, I kind of knew what I was trying to buy from this person. The 53 tops, I knew what I was trying to get. This was just a lot of cards that I happened to see, and I thought, that's a bargain deal that I could add some really cool Hall of Famers to my collection, right? It's, lower grade, maybe a couple that might be borderline mid-grade, but most of these are lower grade. And I see this lot on eBay as I'm searching, and he had $60 or best offer for 35 cards. And you start thinking about it, you're like, oh, that's not too bad. Well, he had best offer, so that always opens up the window to see if I can save a few more dollars, right? That's just kind of how I am as a collector. So I offered $50 for the lot, because he had about $5 shipping, and I thought, okay, maybe we'll get it for 50. He shot back 55, and I'm like, I'm not gonna quibble. It was a good deal to begin with when I was looking at it, and I'm gonna show cards, and I'm probably gonna keep it facing me because you're gonna just see me beaming about this. But I was like, man, if you individually wanted to sell those, he probably could get 150 out of these cards, maybe. I don't know. So time passes. It takes a little bit to get here. Probably took about a week for this to show up, and but these are the one I'm really excited about. It's 35 cards. It's not a huge collection or anything, but it's a nice lot of cards, and I just love thumbing through it. As a collector, it's fun. I like putting them in my spreadsheet. I like figuring out, are they filling holes in my collection? A few of these cards, I thought I already have that, but maybe I could sell it for a few dollars at a show or on eBay or whatever, trade it, whatever, and I get some value back for the $60 I put out. Well, anyway, all told, these work out to about $1.80 a card. And I'm going to start showing cards because I'm 3 minutes in. You're probably sick of me already. And it's going to start out pretty slow. And you're going to be like, okay, no big deal. First we get some 61 Fleer, greats of the game. Got Eddie Plank, Babe Herman. I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about Art Fletcher. Got Johnny Vandermeer. These are cool cards. Cards that I don't think I had any of those particular ones. Bruce Sutter rookie. I have one of these, and it's in better condition than this one. But, hey, maybe I trade this or sell it for a couple bucks and get a few dollars back. It's a pretty low grade, but it's a Dave Parker rookie card, right? So these are the cards I saw, and I was like, oh, I need to. And this is, who is this? Oh, this was Reggie Cleveland, a rookie. It's a Cardinals. I'm a Cardinal guy, so this was cool. I didn't have this card. It's lower grade. Now, this is a really nice 61 Jim Cott. And I didn't have that card. That's second-year Jim Cott, young Jim Cott. I met him earlier this year, got an autographed baseball from him. Super nice guy. This is probably one of the lower grade cards in the lot, but it's a 61 Brooks Robinson. I did not have a 61 Brooks Robinson. This is now my 61 Brooks Robinson until possibly this would be the type of card I might upgrade. These always catch my eye when I'm searching eBay. Got the 61 Roy Campanella MVP card with the beautiful National League blue. Then we got the 61 MVP Phil Rizzuto with the beautiful American League red. Those caught my eyes in the lot because I don't have either one of those. Love the 62. Got the Spawn Shows no-hit form. I had this card, and it's a better copy than one I have. The one I currently have is better than this, but still it's a 62 Whitey Ford, right? Chairman of the board. This is one of the few non-Hall of Famers in the set. or in this lot, I should say, Tony Kubek. I love the 62s. Here's the 62 I did not have, and this is now my 62 Harmon Killebrew. And just to remind you, this breaks down to $1.80 a card, what I'm showing you, right? So most of these, now we're getting into some stuff that definitely I think we'd agree that are worth more than $1.80. How about a 62 post Roger Maris? I love this because it's got the stats from his famous 61 season and the write-up about it. You know, they're a blank back. Just a great card. It's a decent Lou Piniella rookie card. I have one of these. I don't know which one's in better condition, but I'll keep the better one, and the other one will move on. 64 Tony Kubek. Not bad, not bad. Here's a card I didn't have. How about a Mickey Lolich, however you want to. I've heard it said so many different ways. I won't argue with anybody on it, but that's his rookie card. You know, it's a guy that had some good years there with the Tigers. How about a 64 Duke Snider? Not a bad card. This one's a little bit rougher, but 64 Juan Marichal. And again, $1.80 a card. I would fish these out of a box at a show or my local card shop for $1.80. How about a second year Pops? It's a good looking card. How about a Giants Gunners? Willie Mays and Orlando Cepeda. I think most of us would probably, some of you all maybe wouldn't be happy with this. You want higher grade cards, I get it. But I think a lot of us would be happy to have this lot. There's a little bit lower grade 65 Gaylord Perry. This is like his, third or fourth year, and you're already starting to look kind of like Fred Gwynn from the Munsters, looking old. A little bit rougher Don Drysdale. Whoever, this was obviously somebody's collection at some point, and they like Don Drysdale because there was a 60. It's not a bad looking 61. How about a 64? It's another card I had, but I don't know which copy's better. I haven't looked yet. 64 strikeout leaders with Koufax and Drysdale. 65. Which one was that? That's the ERA leaders with Drysdale and Koufax. Got a 65 Don Drysdale. Again, I'm happy. This drew me into this lot. I'm like, I need to bring this lot home. 62 Frank Robinson. I didn't have this. It's a little OC. You know, it's maybe not my forever 62 Frank Robinson, but it's for right now, I'm happy with it. How about a 64 Frank Robinson? Did not have this one either. So I'm filling out a player around there. That's the kind of stuff that excites me as a collector. Now, I have one of these. I've got a nice copy. I think it's in a 6 maybe. So I'm a St. Louis guy. I'm in St. Louis. This type of one that, you know, I might put 10 or 12 bucks on the table and see what I can sell. And I'm going to get some of the money back for my lot. And again, a Gibson, but look, this is one of those really, really, you know, miscut cards. Maybe somebody, you know, might be interested in it. I might take eBay to sell that one, but I'm in St. Louis and I have a nice 68 already. Actually, I got a couple 68s. So those are 34 of the 35 cards, right? And as I'm going through these cards in the basement, I'm just like a giddy little schoolboy going through my cards. I'm thinking, oh, this is great. I'm happy. And there was one other card in the lot that it's a card that I normally would zoom in on the listing and look it over and see, because this card has a rare error to it. Some of y'all may not even be aware of it. That's how rare it is. But I was aware of it. I've never seen one in the wild. I've heard of the card, but I've never actually held one. I've seen it on eBay. I've seen it on Google. But it was not what I was expecting when I went through, and this was almost the end of the cards. And I know you're like, Joe, shut up, but I'm relishing this moment because you have no idea how giddy I was when I get to this. I'm just like, and I threw together, and I hope y'all won't be disappointed in this, but I threw together a string of expletives in the basement that'll alarm my wife, because it's a string that I normally only put together when I've hurt myself, or 2 years ago I had a bout with kidney stones that just about killed me, and it was my favorite string of expletives. It was kind of like, it was A Christmas Story, where Ralphie's dad goes in the basement and fights with the furnace or whatever. So I'm in the basement, and I let loose this string, and my wife comes running to the top of the steps, and she goes, "Are you okay? I thought maybe you were having a heart attack or you had kidney stones again," her exact words. And I was like, no, I just found a card that I did not expect to find in this lot. It was the last thing on earth. It was legitimately, it was like opening a box of cards, a pack of cards, and pulling the product hit, y'all. That's where I was at with this. And I know you're just like, Joe, stop building up, quit being that guy. Well, you probably already fast forwarded through all this. But as I get to it and I look at behold its glory, it immediately became evident what version of this card I had. And the universal population on this is graded as about 78. We all know that's not everything that's out there, but that's always indicative of how many of this card are out there in circulation. And Joe, your favorite redneck collector, is now the proud owner of a 1973 Al Kaline with the Band-Aid on his forehead. And it is in decent shape, y'all. I probably will grade this card. I can tell you, I'm certain I'll grade this card. I think it's probably about a 4. For those of y'all that don't know about this card, see on the back, got some white. It's not a perfect card by any means. I think it's probably a 4. For those of you that don't know about this card, it was Mr. Kaline. I don't know the story of why he had a Band-Aid on his head, a bandage on his head. I'm going to try to get in there. But he had this bandage on his head. Topps takes the picture. The photographer takes the picture. Topps starts printing cards, and then they notice it, and they're like, hey, that doesn't make for a good look, or whatever, their product control, or somebody didn't like it. So they pull the plug on production until they can airbrush the copy, which is what I'm going to make up a number here and say 99.5% of all copies out there, maybe 99.7% of all copies out there are the airbrushed version. I have another copy of this. I should have probably pulled it out for this video. That would have made for a better video, but I didn't. But that's the ones most people have, is the airbrush version. Well, this is one of the rare versions that slipped out before the airbrushing happened. And to put it in perspective, I think a VCP average on a 4 on this card is like $700. So when you buy a lot of cards for $60 plus or $55 plus shipping and taxes, and it comes out to like $62 or whatever it was, $1.80 a card, you don't expect to find a $700 rare vintage card in there. So there you have it. There's my story. I'm just over the moon. Y'all are going to be like, Joe, maybe some of you are going to be good for you. Some of you are going to be like, I cannot believe you did it. Either way, it's whatever. I'm happy. I had to tell the story with you. I hope you're happy for me. But if not, I get that too. I would get tired of watching somebody. But it's like I always say, it's better to be lucky than good, because I'll never claim to be that good. This was pure luck. I had no idea that card I knew it was in the lot, but I never zoomed in on it. If I had zoomed in on it, I would have never quibbled over $5 or $10 in the lot. I would have bought it and been done with it. So, but it made it all the more sweeter when I got home and I took my little box downstairs and I started flipping through my cards and I started sorting them, and I'm having just a grand old time. And to pull that out was just simply marvelous, as Billy Crystal would say. So I hope you enjoyed riding along as I reminisce about this story that just happened yesterday or the day before. I don't even remember now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, tuning in, listening to me ramble for 13 and a half minutes. I will let you get back to life. I really appreciate you guys. Remember, keep it a little redneck out there, and it's better to be lucky than good.